could please take their seats, we are ready to start. Good evening, everyone. As our evening gets underway, we begin with an acknowledgement that this ceremony is taking place on Treaty 8 territory, the traditional lands of the Cree, Dene, and the unceded territory of the Métis. I would now invite you to all please stand for the entrance of Council-elect, led by Piper Angus Campbell, and please remain standing as Carla Power sings our national anthem after the entrance. Thank you very much, Mr. Campbell and Ms. Power. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends of Council-elect, community dignitaries, good evening and welcome to the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo's 2021-2025 Council Swearing-in Ceremony and Organizational Meeting. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to those of you who are streaming us online at rmwb.ca. My name is Matthew Harrison, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for this evening. For those joining us in person, and as a matter of housekeeping, I'd like to note that the washrooms are located outside of the ballroom, down either hall, and as well, in the unlikely event of an emergency, please exit the room calmly, take the stairs to the left, and at the bottom of the stairs, your exit is on the right with the muster point in the parking lot. A new council term begins today as our newly elected council takes their oath of office. And each member of council brings with them a diverse variety of experiences and skills, of background and knowledge. But each of them is united in a common bond, a deep commitment and an ardent passion to continue making the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo an incredible place to call home. Now, before council begins the work ahead in their term by taking the oath of office, we have a blessing with Elder Mary Mackenzie of the Willow Lake Métis Nation and Elder Bernadette Dumais of Fort McMurray 468 First Nation. Council did participate in a smudging prior to the start of this ceremony. And in respect of the tradition of the blessing, we are going to be pausing our live stream, and the stream and the remainder of the ceremony will resume after the blessing. I would now invite Elder Mary Mackenzie and Elder Bernadette Dumais forward for the blessing. Please be seated. Thank you very much, Elder Mackenzie and Elder Dumais. And we'll now resume our live stream as well. And thank you, and welcome back to those of you who are streaming us online. At this time, we will now have the swearing in of council. Joining us remotely to administer the oath of office will be His Honor Judge James Jakes. The municipality's Chief Legislative Officer, Jade Brown, will also be on stage to assist with the oath. Each member of council-elect will enter onto the stage to take the oath of office. After all the oaths have been administered, there will be an opportunity for council to say a few words. We will begin with Mayor-elect Bowman's oath of office and acceptance of the chain of office, and then continue with his council colleagues. If you would please proceed, Judge Jakes.
Thank you very much. I would call on Mayor-elect Bowman to reach the podium, and I will administer the oath to him. Okay. Mr. Mayor, if you'd repeat after me. I, Sandy Bowman, do hereby swear
I, Sandy Bowman, do hereby swear
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of mayor
the office of mayor
for the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo.
for the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Now, if you would sign just above where your name is printed on this document, which I'm seeing you do. Okay. You're now sworn in. You'll receive the chain of office now. Thank you. Next will be Councillor Ken Ball. If you'll repeat after me, please. I, Ken Ball, do hereby swear
I, Ken Ball, do hereby swear
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of Councillor for the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo.
the office of Councillor for the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. If you'll sign there above your name on the document, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next elected councillor is Funky Banjoko. If you'll repeat after me, please.
Yes.
I, Funky Banjoko, do hereby swear
I, Funky Banjoko, do hereby swear
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
that I would diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of Councillor for the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo.
the office of Councillor for the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Now, if you'll sign right above where your name is, please, and you're sworn in.
Thank you.
Okay. The next councillor-elect I'll call in is Lance Bousier. Okay, Mr. Bousier, if you'll repeat after me. I, Lance Bousier, Bousier, I should say, let me start that again. I, Lance Bousier, do hereby swear
I, Lance Bousier, do hereby swear
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
that I will
Diligently.
diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability,
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Now, if you'll sign your name above where it's printed there. Okay. The next councillor-elect is Kendrick Cardinal. Okay, Mr. Cardinal.
Hey,
Repeat after
Mr.
me.
Jakes, how are you?
Very good. You too, sir. I, Kendrick Cardinal,
I, Kendrick Cardinal,
do hereby declare and affirm
do hereby declare and affirm
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
that I will diligently and faithfully, to the best of my ability,
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
Good. If you'll sign your name just above where it's printed there, please, Mr. Cardinal.
Thank you, Mr. Jakes.
Thank you. Good. The next councillor is Shafiq Dogar. Okay, Mr. Dogar.
Yes.
Repeat after me,
I-
if you would, please.
Yes.
I am Shafiq Dogar,
I am Shafiq Dogar,
do hereby declare and affirm
do hereby declare and affirm
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
execute according to law
execute according to the law
the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
Good. If you would be so good as to sign just above where your name is there, please. Okay, the next councillor is Alan Grandison. Okay, Mr. Grandison, if you'll repeat after me. I, Alan Grandison,
I, Alan Grandison,
do hereby swear
do hereby swear
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of Councillor
the office of Councillor
for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Good. And if you would sign your paper there, just above your name, please. Good. The next councillor-elect is Keith McGrath. Okay, Mr. McGrath, if you'd be so good as to repeat after me. I, Keith McGrath,
I, Keith McGrath,
do hereby swear
do hereby swear
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
that I will diligently, faithfully, and the best of my ability,
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
the office of Councillor of Wood Buffalo, Municipality of
Okay.
Wood Buffalo. Sorry.
Yes, the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
The office of Councillor of the Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
Thank you. Okay, if you'd be so good as to sign your name just above where it's written there. Thank you. Okay. Next, Councillor-elect is Jane Stroud. Okay. If you would kindly repeat after me. I, Jane Stroud,
I, Jane Stroud,
do hereby swear
do hereby swear
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, if you'd sign just above your name there, please. Okay, the next Councillor-elect is Loretta Walklin. If you repeat after me, please. I, Loretta Walklin,
I, Loretta Walklin,
do hereby swear
do hereby swear
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
the office of Councillor of the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Good. If you'd sign your name just above where your name is printed on that form. Okay. Last Councillor-elect on my list alphabetically is Stu Weigel. Okay, Mr. Weigel, if you would repeat after me. I, Stu Weigel,
I, Stu Weigel,
do hereby swear
do hereby swear
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo
execute the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
Yeah, execute according to law the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
Execute according to law the office of Councillor for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. You sign just above where your name is. And unless I missed something, I believe that's all the councillors.
Thank you very much, Judge Jakes. You did get everyone, so we're good. And ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you your 2021-2025 Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo Council. At this point, mayor and councillors will have the opportunity to address their family, friends, and supporters who are joining us here this evening or online. To begin, I would like to invite Mayor Bowman to the podium.
Thank you, everyone. I'm so incredibly grateful, honored, and humbled to be elected from the people of this region to be your next mayor. I'd like to congratulate all newly elected councillors who are all excited to serve our residents, and we look forward to building a strong team that our community can be proud of. And I'd like to thank my campaign team. Although very small, we worked day and night and formed some lifelong friendships. And the volunteers have spent countless hours either door knocking, building signs, putting up signs, and some in front of the scenes and some behind the scenes. Without your support, I wouldn't be here today. And I'd very much like to thank the community leaders, some of which are in attendance today, for the time to sit down with me and share their wisdom and knowledge. And the public, all the public that voted. Your confidence in me has put me here today. But most of all, I'd like to thank my family. Standing with me through the early mornings and the late nights really made the difference, and that rock solid support is what took me through to this day. This is the start of a bright future where the RMWB places the quality of life of our residents in every decision we make. I'm completely honored to have the trust of the residents of this region placed in me today, and I'll work every day to further earn your trust and respect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Bowman. And we'll now hear from your council colleagues, and we'll go in alphabetical order. So we'll start with Ward 1 Councillor Ken Ball.
I was going to say what Sandy said. Good evening, council and colleagues, or council colleagues and guests. I'd like to begin by thanking those that supported me through this campaign. My wife, Lisa, she was there every step of the way, and I can't thank her enough. I've got some close friends that helped me out, whether it was putting up signs, talking to people. Luana, Amber, Lloyd, Chad, Justin, and I can't forget Mike Vickers. He's a Facebook guru. Thanks for helping me through this campaign, you guys. I couldn't have made it without all of your help. I'd also like to extend thanks to all those that voted for each and every one of us up here. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, and we're honored. It's a privilege to represent this great region. Now that the election's over, we're all sworn in. It's time to get to work. I'm looking forward to working with all the members of this council, including our new mayor, Sandy Bowman. Congratulations, Sandy. Congratulations to all my fellow councillors. You know, I've climbed a few mountains in my day. Now I think it's time we started moving a few. I wish you all the best, and I hope to do great things over the next 4 years.
Thank you, Councillor Ball. I'd now like to welcome Ward 1 Councillor Funky Banjoko.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council and all dignitaries. Thanks for joining us. Through this election, history was made in the RMWB region. Congratulations to all the Blacks, Nigerians, non-Nigerians, all minorities. This is our win. I'm honored that God will use me to make a good history. In Him, nothing is impossible. I do not take this honor for granted, for God to use me to write a good history. I'm the first and certainly hope I will not be the last. I appreciate my family, my community, Extended family, I know some of you are awake back in Africa. Salute. Thanks to my friends, classmates, University of Jos. Thank you all. I have to acknowledge the love of the youths and children of Fort McMurray. Thank you for your love. The feeling is mutual. I love you too. Now then, to whom much is given, so much is expected. With me getting the most votes of all the Ward 1 councillors, I believe much is expected of me. By the grace of God, who has been my source, I'm set to make my mark in council and in this region. I believe we have a good team, and I'm ready to work and collaborate with all to achieve the best for the citizens of this region. For every young girl hearing me, there's a funky in you. I challenge you to aspire for great and greater heights. Dream big and follow through with the required work. This is what happens when you dare to try and you work with tenacity. Thank you all, and God bless you. I'm set for 4 years to work for all peoples in this region. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Banjoko. I would now like to welcome Councillor Lance Bousier, representing Ward 1.
Good evening, council colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to start by giving a huge thank you to those who voted for me and placed their confidence and trust in me. I look forward to serving everyone in the region in the next 4 years. I represent your voice and your needs. To my new colleagues, I feel a high level of confidence that we can make a positive impact on the quality of life for the citizens of our region. It is our responsibility to work collaboratively and respectfully as we remain focused on solutions to the issues facing our region. You have my commitment that I will do just that. To my family and friends who supported me throughout the campaign, I thank you. There were so many who did a lot of heavy lifting to help me during a very dark time. As many people know, my father passed away during the campaign. He was and will always be my hero. Service above self was a motto service above self was a motto he lived by and ingrained in my sister and I. So tonight, I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to serve the region in honor of a man who loved this community more than anyone. I look forward to working with you all and, most importantly, serving the people of the region. Thank you for voting.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bousier. I'd now like to introduce Ward 2 Councillor Kendrick Cardinal.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I wanted to thank the Creator for today, for the humility and respect that He's taught me over the years and that I've accepted. I wanted to say thank you to the elders that said the prayer tonight. I believe in respect and humility, and I believe in respecting our elders, and I would like to be respected like an elder when I grow old as well. So that's why I pass that message on to each and every one. But first and foremost, I want to acknowledge my mother in supporting me. She's here tonight. I also wanted to acknowledge my voters. Thank you guys all so much for having confidence in me. And I'd like to also thank Doug Glosky as well as Robbie Picard. I want to also thank Alec Martin for helping me put up my signs in the communities. I also wanted to thank each and every voter in Ward 2 in Fort Chipewyan, Fort Mackay, and Fort Fitzgerald. You guys will not be forgotten. I thank you, and your votes are valuable to me, and your voice will be heard through me. I'd like to thank everybody here today for coming, and you guys all have a good evening, and much respect and humility. Thank you very much. Aye.
Thank you, Councillor Cardinal. I'd now like to introduce, representing Ward 1, Councillor Shafiq Doger.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. These are my prayers. The meaning of these prayers is, O my Lord, O my Allah, I start with your name. You are most merciful, most magnificent, and everything is possible with only your help. And now, all my brothers and sisters, this is a very cultural way of addressing the people. I'm thankful to all of you for giving me this respect this evening. My town family, I call it a town family the moment I came about 16 years back, and you people have accepted me, and that's why I'm here as a family member. The result of this election shows very openness of this community, that you people think above religion, above caste, color, and creed. And we're extremely thankful. And all the minorities, it's a lesson or attraction for them. Anytime you work hard, you be part of the mainstream, and you would be welcomed. Thank you very much once again. My running of election, it was extremely with very meager resources. Fourth time I'm running and all the time it was self-financed. No donations, as I took always asking of donation a conflict of interest. And with my very small number of signs, 14 only, and I did extremely well, and it is the good sight of you people that you didn't take these things like sign, display of wealth, patronized by somebody, some sort of slate. You didn't patronize. It is all good thinking of the Fort McMurray people, and I value it, and hopefully such like traditions will keep on going on. During my 16, 17 years stay, once I came here, I brought $0.2 million to establish my business. I established trucking business. And during recession and during tough times, I had to do all sorts of labor, like skip the dishes, taxi, cleaning the dishes. And I'm very proud of the fact that I am from a labor class, and all of you accepted it and adores me. So this is a good lesson for all of the working class, labor class, that anybody who involves himself in the community, serve the community, he would be patronized and that would be accepted. And despite of this working class, I would give a promise to everybody that I'll try to serve everyone coming with positive some solutions. May it be establishing a business, may it be some mental health problem, may it be a child care, may be a recreation facilities. I shall be all out to help you people. I congratulate Mayor and my colleagues, councils. Surely I would be working with your help and seeking all the time your partnership, your guidance. Surely we work in complete harmony. Fort McMurray is my town. It is my town of my family. I've been lucky 9 of my grandchildren born here, and they're very proud Fort McMurrays. Surely I will try to serve you people every time, day and night, here or wherever I go. Thank you very much. Allah be with you.
Thank you, Councillor Doger. Now I'd like to welcome Councillor Alan Grandison, representing Ward 1.
Good evening and thank you. I think first and foremost, I'd really like to extend a great thank you to my wife and my family. If not for their support, I wouldn't be here. Excuse me while I get a little choked up. As Lance was talking about his father, it reminded me of those that we've lost in the past and reminded me that we still have a great future in this community. I think that everybody, and I like one of the councillors who indicated they thanked all of the voters that voted for all of us, not just for me. I love the system we have in this country. I love the fact that we have an opportunity to step forward and represent our community and hopefully work collaboratively with each other to improve the quality of life for all of the residents in this community. I think that's what we would all like to achieve, and I hope that we can all put aside differences and work collaboratively and work together to accomplish that task. I think that's what's really important in front of us. I had a lot of people who helped me. I didn't get here by myself. I had, like many other councillors, I had people who helped me with signs and working in the background, my campaign manager, Lisa. All of those people put forth their heart and their soul to make sure that I and all of these people are here. And for that, I'd really truthfully like to thank each and every one of you, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Grandison. Please welcome, representing Ward 1, Councillor Keith McGrath.
Well, I doubt I could go over that stairs when I first got elected in 13. I'd probably fall over the stairs. I was about 4'10", and boy, my life has changed around, and I came to Fort McMurray, I'm not ashamed to tell you, in 1985 with the clothes on my back and nowhere to live. Never knew a woman, never knew a girlfriend, never had a driver's license. Never had much, but I had a lot of hope. And the same hope I see here today. I was never part of a slate. I was never swayed. And I hear this stuff about money on campaigns and donations. This was the cheapest campaign I think anybody has ever run. And that's just from the outside looking in. My wife gave me a few bucks. My son gave me a few bucks. My other daughters gave me a few bucks. I gave it back to them. I didn't need it. Because my boss, Chief Vern over there, he believed in me. And for the nights that I spent drinking in pubs, only to hear about it the next morning, and he told me about 7 months ago, you know, you do some great work for the nation, but if you don't stop drinking, I'm going to fire you. And that's what I like about Chief Vern. What he don't like, he's going to tell you. And that's exactly who I am. I don't please anybody, I know that. I'm after pissing off the people that are after making me rich. I wear odd socks every day for autistic kids because there's a guy in this community that loved this community no more than the man that I've ever known. That's Guy Boudelaire. Everybody didn't like Guy after he never got elected. But he's raised a kid, Mark. And Gail and Guy have done what I've never seen done before. As a school board trustee for 17 years, I've never had a hitch. Not a hitch, because it was always about the kids. I served with the best. I served with Terry Langus. I served with Geraldine Carberry. I served with the best. I learned from the best. And I made the worst mistakes in life right here in Fort McMurray. But somehow, last Monday night, I came home after working 26 night shifts on my own, with the help of the RCMP and the firefighters and the paramedics. A few times I'd be up on the wall and they'd check on me and see if I was okay, I wasn't jumping over it. Because mental health, that's what people are missing in this community. We haven't got a break. We haven't got a break in 6 years. Fires, floods, I was through it all. And when my colleagues watch me, and my company ACON pay me every day for 7 days a week, take me to Saskatchewan, High Level, all over the place. Not a nickel cost the taxpayers. 11 people that I was elected with watched me get crucified across the country, knowing that I never took a nickel. But that's politics, folks. I'm not up here for politics. If I was politics, I'd be saddled off trying to make a run as an MLA, trying to make a run as an MP. I'd be finished at it if you like. The same guys that find it. And what I did at this time around, I wasn't going to say nothing stupid to anybody. Indigenous people. Man, there's nobody better to tell you how my relationship is with Indigenous people. And it goes back to the first day I stepped foot in Fort McMurray, Alberta. And I strengthened that by, I'm not going to say their names. The suit I got on my back today was bought for me. And it took me 15 years. 15 years to take a suit. I don't take nothing from nobody. And I take less and less bull from people. Because these elected officials, they're elected. The quality of life, I hear it all the time. I hear about Franklin Avenue all the time. I hear about the rural versus urban all the time. Man, we are the government that affects your lives more so than any other level of government. And after 8 years, I finally learned something. I'm not here to get rich. I think if I was going to get rich, it would have happened after I probably spent the first million. I had some old cars out there during the campaign, not to show off, but a guy in Lethbridge thought I couldn't park them anyplace else, and I said, I'll bring them home. And one rich guy in Fort McMurray let me pay it off for 3 years. I don't ask for nothing. I was called a bum a couple of weeks ago by a guy that, hey, a bum. Well, if you meant that I asked for a place to stay in '85, absolutely. And that was hard because I lived over at the Towers. They talk about Moccasin Flats. I know all about residential schools, and God bless them, and Mount Cashel. And that's why people thought I got sick this summer. My boss started to walk on his own. And I went out to Anzac. And don't think I'm not all over the place, folks, because this is all got to do with public service. I went to Anzac. I sat in a teepee. The brothers and sisters have done more for me. I skimmed the all off the ponds. Brendan, Bert, Burke. When I was a teenager, I lived in Beacon Hill, and they came and checked on me. And they were taught when the young fellas were having too many late nights, Bert would open the door, and he'd either listen to Bert, or he made sure that somebody else listened to us. So he was kind of a dad that we never had. But then I was lucky enough to start to get to know his daughters. And now lucky enough to get to know their kids. That's where I come from. I'm not, yeah, well, am I perfect? No. But Chief, I got a life. 7 months. 7 months and 2 weeks sober off the booze. Because booze is a bad drug because it leads into everything else. It opens up the gate. Opens up the gate to late nights. You want to go to Vancouver, you got the cash in your pocket, give it to her. And then you get your family home, and they don't know when you're coming back. I look over Miss Koloski. I lost, 4 or 5 elections. Scotty Garner, big guy with Syncrude, had enough interest, picked me up and said, hey, there's a health board you can serve. Get yourself known. Perfect. Because service to others started in the Jesuit High School. For the most part, that wasn't a bad place to be. But we had some bad days there. I lost some friends because of it. But I'm here today because you gave me a chance last Monday to redeem myself. I heard the brothers. We were a gong show for 4 years, and I was part of that. Absolutely. We done a few nice things, but most things we done was ridiculous. The election, the hat never dropped last Monday night. We were going to fire the CEO, we were going to fire this guy, we were going to fire Henry. Councillors are not there to direct administration. To be fair to any CAO, we give them what the community wants. I got that right. Took me a while, but I got it right. And it takes a guy to stand up here and say, you know what, I got a fresh start. Some other people weren't lucky enough. But I got my fresh start because of what I'd done. Not because I came down here and said somebody's name wrong and I got investigated for it. Not likely. Man Bousier was cooking me breakfast, the only Newfoundlander to go to Fort McCoy. Fort Chip, Conklin, Johnville, Anzac. But that's when my heart broke. That's when my own people were investigating me about my Indigenous relationships, and I didn't respect them. Oh, my heavens. I started at the All Sands Hotel. I got my start in life with the Indigenous people. I stayed upstairs. I played the music in the nighttime. I went to piano college in the daytime. And I was Mr. Goloski's favorite student. Because what I couldn't break, the weather broke it. And then we went down and we built the Fort McMurray Golf Club. Wow, how cool was that? Got a survey and ticket. Got to roll a few scrapers down the hill. I go up to the Interpretive Center and we built that. St. Anne's, St. Martha's, Westwood, out at Suncor. Wow. Southwest Tailings Dam, us and the Klemkes, we moved more dirt at the Klemkes when North American was sleeping back then. And then I got to listen to some guy, we don't build dikes. We owe you guys a lot. And I'm proud. I can look around this table. At the All Sands Hotel, we started, I think it was the Cystic Fibrosis Golf Tournament, right here at Mac Island. I think his sister carried the ball, then it became slow pitch. All I'm trying to tell you is, guys, my campaign team, Little Cohen and Braden, I think they had, every time I really needed the hand and, I was getting taxed out, I called the boys because I knew they weren't good enough to make the All-Barns, but they had a big enough heart to help me. And a guy, Dan, a contract painter, was looking for a bit of work. I said, I can't pay you much, but I'll give you a bit of supper. And then I look back on what screwed us up than not to serve you the last 4 years. Everybody had, it seemed, their own agenda. We had half a slate come in City Hall. We were going to scrap the 10-to-1 ratio. Because I'm putting this out on the table. We're getting a fresh start, Kendall. We are going to work for ye people. Because for the last few years, this mayor and council role has been nil. We become the butt of every joke in the country. We become the butt of every project that goes sideways. And that's not who we are. And all I ask you guys is this. I had 17 perfect years. And don't get me wrong. Me and Miss Carberry, me and Miss Langus, we used to go head to head. Because Catholic education is challenged every day, across the country. Just like I challenged these guys for procurement within and the outside. I certainly believe in small business. I worked for 9 of them. I cleaned the shitters at Suncor. I had guys that are directors today that done the vac trucks. Well, we all start someplace. Them little kids over there, and they're counting on us. They'll be able to afford to live here when they go to high school. So somehow we got to figure out how we're going to lose that chunk of money and what we're going to sustain. And this is long-winded on an extensive speech, but for me it's a bit of redemption. Because I'm standing up here sober this evening, and boy, I've been through hell and back in the last 4 months. And just so you know, not on the crack. I got a bit sick, absolutely, but boy, Jesus, I'm healthy as a horse now. Chief giving me, what do you say, toutons, I guess they call it bannock, stew. We got a great opportunity to make sure that those 4 kids and every other kid, and as far as black, brown, yellow, green, or white, we're all the same in the good Lord's sight. And I learned that way back when I had a choice. I could do a religion class or I could donate my time in the community and not write an exam. Well, you know what I took? I went and donated in the community because I wasn't that bright of a kid. But I had a big heart. And I knew when I made it in Fort McMurray, that gave me everything. That's when I could give away a car or a boat or find a partner to do something big. That's who I am. I'm not the guy out there, trying to cause trouble. But there's nobody walking on me this time. Nobody. Nobody bought me this time. Nobody ever bought me any time. But that guy over there in the corner probably saved my life. And he may fire me tomorrow for saying it. That's okay. Because then I'll have more time to work with Ken over here at City Hall. Because I think you got the best group of people that are homemade. And I mean, Lance was mad at me. Sure, me and Lance, we're buddies again. Look at that. Hey? And I tell you, I made a commitment in this community, and my commitment was, I had a hockey game to go to, and it was election day. I slept through the results. Imagine. And I got a call the next morning saying, you don't like the new mayor? Jesus, buddy, I don't even know the new mayor, but I know one thing. If I piss him off, you're going to give me a couple of judo chops, and I'm out. I'm out. I won't even get a chance to listen to any legal advice. I'll be chopped out. You know what I mean? So I said this time around, I'm going to set the pace because my family of Fort McMurray that gave me everything, I could have vanished this time like some others. But you're not done with me, Ned, and I owe you 4 years of sobriety, 4 years of putting on our thinking caps. And how do we get a road built to 686? Well, we built it the same way we built it, the largest dike in North America in a year and a half, the highway burn. Well, we just bring industry back to the table instead of chasing them away. We bring our indigenous people back to the table, and we'll get a road to Lalash. Or we might get a road to Peace River. That's what my time is going to be spent on. Because these kids, they want to raise their families in Fort McMurray. The only way they'll be able to do that, you're not going to shut down the camps. That's ridiculous. Any guys are going to say they're going to shut down the camps, never worked on site. Where are you going to get 4,000 tradespeople to do a shutdown? Oh, come on. We can build a road, though, because I built the roads. We can do that. I believe in that. Chief believes in it. We're going to take some water from the underground and bring it up. We got big plans. And the only thing that's going to get away in our plans are people that don't believe in us. Well, I can tell you, I believe in every one of you guys. I mean, I danced with you at the All-Can, and I probably threw you at the All-Can. And Dogger, 9 years ago, we started a mission. And the only thing you done now, Dogger, you left the community in a bit of doubt tonight. Okay? You said you had 19 signs? Well, now, Dogger, we made history here tonight because it's the first time ever I've seen signs make signs. You know what I mean? Because this guy has worked his butt off. Worked his butt off. This guy has waved at traffic. He's been at my house for Christmas. He's been at my house for Easter. Because in Gonzaga in grade 9, believe this, a bunch of Newfie kids are getting taught English by a guy from Pakistan, Mr. Louis Gillard. And when you didn't listen to him, he gave you the kick in the shin. That was his staple. And I talked to Mr. Gillard until he retired. And I only got one more. If you're passing that bag, Jane, please, or Jade. So I made a commitment to work with this team because I believe it or not, I'm finished my work at the school board because I believe that there's different times ahead. A good friend of mine from Father Mercury that I had no problem, Kelsey John, be able to pick up that torch. Great work. And not only did I help pick up some signs here, because I said if I'm going to pick up my own, I'm going to pick up the neighbors, because I'm going to give these guys a shot. If they throw me over the halfway through, then it's game on. And I owe nobody nothing, but I'm going to tell you something. I've never asked politicians in my house, never, with the exception of Lance and Sheldon and my buddy Guy Baudelaire, because the rest seem like sometimes they want me gone, you know. But anyways, I made sure I wrapped my big arms around my council colleagues, and I said, I'm going to have a little bit of an open house, make an Irish stew. I don't drink, but I'll fill her up, whatever you want. And in she comes, hey, Our Lady, Our Lady, in she comes. Oh my God, I said, here she comes, the Spirit is coming right up to Pacific. And that's what I want to say. Thanks to the people on Pacific, because I know you've been running a 24-hour shift with my vehicles. And don't burn the house down. She's all done. The signs are put away. And Funky, the next time you come to my place, make sure you don't leave your clothes behind. There you go. There you go. So now that's a council that's going to work together, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Councillor McGrath. I'd now like to invite Councillor Jane Stroud, representing Ward 4.
Good evening, council colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be acclaimed as Ward 4 Councillor. A big thank you for the support from the residents and businesses. I will continue to listen, raise concerns, and work towards achieving the results that folks deserve. Congratulations to all my council colleagues. I want to thank administration for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo that even with the challenges of the fire, the flood, and COVID-19, the municipal projects continue to move forward. Essential service priority projects in Ward 4 this term include high-speed internet, rural water and sewer hookups completed to the homes in Gregoire Lake Estates, Anzac, Jonvier, and Conklin. Progress on the egress roads for Jonvier and Anzac. Mayor and Council, RMWB administration, key industry partners, the Premier and the Minister of Transportation all need to be at the table to discuss the conditions of Highway 881. This highway desperately needs improvements to handle the traffic. We need the continuation of industry to boost our economy while ensuring safety for rural residents that travel the highway to Fort McMurray for essential services. Both administration and council continue to put pressure on the provincial government to returning localized emergency services dispatch. This is a critically important issue. The health and safety of residents remains a top priority. Please engage, send emails to Mayor and Council, provincial and federal representatives. Your voices need to be heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stroud. I'd now like to welcome Councillor Loretta Walkwin from Ward 2.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to thank you all for attending this prestigious ceremony. First of all, I'd like to say thanks to my supporters in Ward 2. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here, both Kendrick and myself. We went out there, we talked to the people, we listened to the voices. The Indigenous are being heard, and they will continue to be heard at our table. There are a lot of issues that were brought forward. We listened to them, and now it's time to make that change. I'd like to thank my husband, who's here tonight with me, for supporting me in many ways, more than this campaign. He has given me that push. He has given me the words of wisdom like my mom did. My sister, I'd also like to thank, who's here tonight as well, and my brother-in-law, Jerry. I'd also like to say that, you know, just listening to Keith, Councillor McGrath, he was saying the kids, he was talking about the kids in this area here. The kids are our future. They need to be heard as well. That's why when I did my campaign, it was bringing youth and elders together. We need to grab the youth. They need to be heard as well. Grab them while they're young, teach them, show them the wisdom, the culture, and the areas of this prestigious municipality. With this, I thank you all for all your support that through this campaign of not only from myself, but for Mayor Bowman and the colleagues. Thank you all again for attending.
Thank you, Councillor Walkwin. And our last remarks for this evening will come from Ward 3 representative, Councillor Stu Weigel.
I want to start off by congratulating Mayor Bowman and my fellow councillors. As we went through this time, and I took a lot of time into prayer, I got quite scared. You know, this town, I couldn't imagine being the mayor and council of the last 4 years, and the administration, where we're going through all of these crazy things: fire, flood, Then COVID hits, oil prices. It's been an absolutely crazy time. And so I want to say thank you for everything that they've done up to this point. But now, yeah, absolutely. But now it's time to change gears. And it was a scary thing to be able to walk out there and put my name on the ballot, because now we have to make real change. Now we can't look at the past, at all the things that have been happened before, but we need to really decide where we're going. We made a change this year. I'd like to thank, first off, my beautiful wife, Dana Weigel, as she's been my heart and soul and rock through this whole entire process. She was actually the one that stood up first and said, we need to do this and we need to walk forward. I've got my 4 amazing boys as we talk about the kids over there. We've got Lincoln, Maverick, Jake, and Wyatt. And they support me along the way. They're my cheerleaders. They're the ones that get up in the morning. We were working out this morning and they keep me going. I would have only done 2 rounds, but thanks to them, I did all 4. It was good. They keep me honest. But as we move forward through these times, we've got to be excited about it. We can't look back in fear, and we can't look back at what it is. Because God said that he had prepared us for a day like this. And so I have to believe that. I have to believe that we are prepared to be able to move forward. As we moved into Ward 3 in January, we were so excited. People welcomed us in open arms. We were so excited to be in a rural area and the outskirts, to be in a place where, honestly, a lot of my door knocking happened around campfires, and I would just make my way home. I'd start at the far end on a Saturday night and just slowly walk through, and I'd meet 10 families at each campfire. And it was incredible because it reminded me of why I was in Fort McMurray for the past 17 years before that. It was the community. I, too, was taken back when Lance talked about losing his dad during this campaign. I've lost both my parents. And one of the reasons why, when we ever talk about leaving Fort McMurray, we don't. Because it's the community. It is the people that stand strong day in and day out about making Fort McMurray a place for everyone. No matter where you come from, no matter if you were born here, if you're Indigenous, this is a place where you're welcome. And that is why we must move forward. I am absolutely so excited about moving the next 4 years for the next 40 years. The decisions we make as a council today is going to affect so much going forward. We're out of a transition now. It's now to make great movements forward. We're not in a recession anymore. It's time to stop thinking about what's behind us and start looking at the future. Because today's the day. Today is the day that we move us forward from looking behind and actually making traction. Fort McMurray has always been great. And even in the last 5 years, it has still been amazing because the people are still here helping each other, working through. When we had the flood, seeing how many people were down there, how many people were sandbagging at the hospital, it doesn't matter what happens to this town. We are absolutely amazing. And I am absolutely blessed and honored to serve you guys for the next 4 years. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Weigel. Now that concludes the formal portion of our swearing-in ceremony. Once again, congratulations to our 2021-2025 Regional Council. We will now transition into a short organizational meeting, and so I will turn the floor over to the chair of that meeting, Mayor Bowman. Mayor Bowman?
Thank you. I'll now call the organizational meeting to order. Our first order of business today is the adoption of the agenda. I'll call on Councillor Ball to make that motion.
I move that the agenda be adopted as presented.
I'll call on Councillor Benjoko to second the motion.
I second the motion.
Is there anyone opposed to this motion? Hearing none, your votes will be recorded as in favor. Passed unanimously. We have one report before us for consideration, which contains 4 recommendations. And again, I call on Councillor Benjoko to make the motion.
I move that the proposed 2021-2022 council representation on boards and committees as outlined in attachment 1 be approved.
I'll call on Councillor Bousier to section the motion. Is there anyone opposed to this motion? Hearing none, your votes will be recorded as in favor. Passed unanimously. Again, I call on Councillor Bousier to forward recommendation number 2.
Move that the proposed deputy and acting mayor assignments as outlined in attachment 2 be approved.
I'll call on Councillor Cardinal to second the motion.
I second the motion.
Is there anyone opposed to this motion? Hearing none, your votes will be recorded as in favor. Passed unanimously. I'll call on Councillor Cardinal again to forward recommendation number 3.
I move that the regular council meetings be held at 6 p.m. in the Jubilee Center Council Chambers on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of each month, with the exception of any statutory holidays and scheduled recess periods.
Thank you, and I'll call on Councillor Dogar to second the motion.
I second it.
Is there anyone opposed to this motion? Hearing none, your votes will be recorded as in favor. Passed unanimously. Again, call on Councillor Dogar to forward recommendation number 4.
I move that the November 23rd, 2021 council meeting be rescheduled to occur on Monday, November 22nd, 2021.
I'll call on Councillor Gradison to second the motion.
I second that motion.
Is there anyone opposed to this motion? Hearing none, your votes will be recorded as in favor. Passed unanimously. With that, the organizational meeting has concluded and our evening draws to an end. I would like to take a moment to express my thanks to the RMWB administration for all the work that they put into this election and today's activities, from the CAO to legislative services, and the many other departments involved. It's clear that an incredible amount of work goes into the onboarding process for our new council, and we appreciate all of these efforts. I want to thank everyone for joining us in person, our loved ones, family, and friends, and of course those streaming the event this evening. It means so much to us to be able to share this with you. And I think I speak on behalf of all my colleagues when I say we look forward to working for you and with you over the course of the next 4 years. This is our home, and we're all very excited for many great things to come. And with that, I conclude this evening's swearing-in ceremony and organizational meeting. Thank you and have a great evening.